Wikileaks State Department Cable 08 Bishkek 1095, candid discussion with Prince Andrew on the Kyrgyz. Summary: on October 28, the ambassador participated in a 2-hour brunch to brief the Duke of York ahead of his meetings with the Kyrgyz Prime Minister and other high-level officials. The discussion covered the investment climate for Western firms in the Kyrgyz Republic, the problem of corruption, the revival of the Great Game. Astonishingly candid, the discussion at times verged on the rude, from the British side. Addressing the ambassador directly, Prince Andrew then turned to regional politics. He stated boldly that
the United Kingdom, Western Europe and by extension you Americans too,
were now back in the thick of playing the Great Game. More animated than ever, he stated cockily,
"And this time we aim to win."
Without contradicting him, the ambassador gently reminded him that the United States does not see its presence in the region as a continuation of the Great Game. The brunch had already lasted almost twice its allotted time, but the prince looked like he was just getting started. Having exhausted the topic of Kyrgyzstan, he turned to the general issue of promoting British economic interests abroad. He railed at British anti-corruption investigators, who had had the
idiocy
of almost scuttling the Al Yamama deal with Saudi Arabia. Note: the Duke was referencing an investigation, subsequently closed, into alleged kickbacks a senior Saudi royal had received in exchange for the multi-year, lucrative BAE Systems contract to provide equipment and training to Saudi security forces. His mother's subjects seated around the table roared their approval. He then went on to
these expletive journalists, especially from the National Guardian, who poke their noses everywhere
and, presumably, make it harder for British businessmen to do business. The crowd practically clapped. He then capped this off with a zinger, castigating
our stupid British and American governments, which plan at best for 10 years, whereas people in this part of the world plan for centuries.
There were calls of
"Here, here,"
in the private brunch hall. Unfortunately for the assembled British subjects, their cherished prince was now late to the Prime Minister's. He regretfully tore himself away from them and they from him. On their way out, one of them confided to the ambassador,
"What a wonderful representative for the British people. We could not be prouder of our royal family."
One British businessman noted that despite the
overwhelming might of the American economy compared to ours,
the amount of American and British investment in Kyrgyzstan was similar. Snapped the Duke.
"No surprise there. The Americans don't understand geography. Never have. In the UK, we have the best geography teachers in the world."
End comment. Gfoeller.